The body of this man is so large that just one step makes the earth tremble. They didn't believe in earthquakes, but when young Hyun walked, it seemed like the world was ending. Everyone was completely shocked. He was so heavy that his weight exceeded several hundred kilograms already. He dreamed of becoming the supreme leader of martial arts, but even a mosquito landing on his neck was enough to make him stagger and fall. The fall of his gigantic body could be heard from the other side of the country. Is he the one causing the earthquakes in my house? His body was torn and unusable, but he knew that at some point, someone would appear and destroy the entire Murim. That man was truly incredible and was able to unify the entire Murim. His parents also died in the chaos he caused. Therefore, someone as ordinary and weak as him was accepted as a disciple by 6 masters of the main sects, undergoing infernal training where living was worse than death. They tried to pierce him alive. They tried to freeze him alive. They tried fire. This strengthened his body. And all of this was his master's plan for him to become very powerful. And then he was sent back in time to change the fate of the world. But he never imagined that he would end up in Hyun's fat, useless body, unable to practice martial arts. Back in the present, he was being treated by Jang Seung, while Hyun was thinking about how to defeat the ungrateful servant of the sect who would cause all the chaos. He remembered that he first needed to obtain the virgin ginseng before the ungrateful servant, the doctor, and the one responsible for Hyun's care kept arguing about his health. And he couldn't think straight until he finally remembered that the servant would get the virgin ginseng in 6 months. He needed to do something right now. He immediately got up, telling his father that he needed to walk. His father immediately called people to bring a big chair, the biggest available. The people carrying the chair needed to be the strongest, but he refused because he wanted to walk alone. Still, his father immediately called the guards to help him, showing a scene that made the old man's eyes moist. He hadn't walked alone since he was 10 years old. In the following days, he trained very hard, walking around the courtyards for a month, but this ton-heavy body still showed no sign of change. He even got on the scale to check, but not even a whole herd of pigs climbing made Hyun budge a bit. The rope on the pig's side even broke. While Hyun tried to remember the name of the servant who would bring chaos, his vassal was trying to console him, saying that losing weight wasn't something that could be done overnight. It was necessary to focus on the diet, reducing sugar intake and increasing protein, and then do exercises to strengthen the muscles. The situation of the young master could take a long time to stabilize, but Hyun didn't care. He just wanted to remember the name of that ungrateful servant. It seems that Hyun lost his memories about the servant when he reincarnated, but anyway, he will appear in Anhui province to look for the virgin ginseng. Maybe he could find him during this opportunity. Thinking about the scene where he would press him there with his invincible strength, he was laughing completely satisfied, imagining that after dealing with him, he would have a quiet life. What a dream! His vassal thinks he must have gone mad as a side effect of losing weight too fast. He was shocked by the sudden change and ran off to call the doctor. He immediately brought the old Jang running to him. Jang Seung, who at 30 entered the selection exam to be the emperor's personal physician. He went through a series of excellent tests to become a doctor at the same time. At 50, he attained enlightenment and developed his own medical technique. This was his savior and the key to making him beautiful with an athletic body. He asked if he could prepare various types of weight loss remedies quickly. The very happy man says that this would indeed be possible. So Hyun asks if it can be done in 6 months, but it would take 3 years for that, and he would have to exercise. Hyun killed a mosquito on his doctor's neck while calling him a charlatan. However, the doctor thought of a method to help him lose weight quickly. If he couldn't walk on land, he should walk underwater. Eventually, he arrived at a nearby stream. The men, after carrying him all the way, were dead tired. Hyun slowly bent down to enter the water. He thought that walking underwater would relax his body. The pressure on his bones and muscles would be relieved. Suddenly, he slipped and fell into the deep water. It seemed like he would float thanks to his big balloon belly. But suddenly he sank like a submarine, and his vassal still hadn't reacted, thinking he was happily swimming. But little did his vassal know that he was now an oxygenless submarine. The vassal thought he had the potential to become a professional swimmer, until another vassal warned that this river might have a steeper decline than expected, and he might be sinking like a submarine. The vassal looked at the water without understanding, but now he realized that his master was drowning. He panicked and ran to save him, but basically, an ordinary person like them couldn't carry Hyun's giant body to the shore. Meanwhile, young Hyun began to lose his strength. Memories of this body at 2 years old clearly surfaced in his head. He had to go through terrible things. His mother died protecting him. At that moment, A girl pulled him to the shore, saving his life.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
So they finally returned to their home. The vassal at that moment was facing Hyun's father's wrath, but after finding out that everything was caused by the doctor, the man, after almost going to the afterlife at the hands of Hyun's father, explains that the young man was sad after being rejected and decided to lose weight. Then he mentioned the underwater weight loss method, which was very effective, but Hyun's sister, the woman who sent her maid to save him at the waterfall, says that it was not necessary to go so deep into the waterfall to lose weight. Now in Hyun's room, he woke up again, seeing his beautiful older sister. He could not even believe that that beautiful maiden was his sister. Clearly, he was fat and stupid, but he had such a beautiful sister, an exceptional beauty. His sister's maid asked if she could help him up. Hyun thinks it would be impossible for her to do it alone, but she easily lifted him up, saying it's a piece of cake for her. The next day, he was taken to the location where the weight loss program was, but the subordinates were very happy. Clearly it was strange for everyone to be happy to carry someone with the weight of a mammoth. Arriving at the site, everyone was building a 5-star kiddie pool for him. This was clearly the idea of the older sister. He no longer needed to go to the dangerous stream. But Hyun finds this very strange. But upon seeing his pool completely ready, Hyun becomes very happy. The people who saw him walking to the pool also seemed happy and congratulated him for it. They clearly had sweated a lot just because of such a meaningless thing. So how could this be fun? He also asked his vassal, who was arriving now, about his adoptive father, the head of the family. The impressive thing is that in the vassal's view, the old bodybuilder looks charming to his eyes. So the man says that the patriarch is the great apprentice whom all apprentices admire. This made him a symbol of purity and integrity. But in Hyun's view, his father was just an old lecher. The vassal says that whenever there was hunger, he opened his warehouse and took care of everyone's livelihood by sharing food and clothes. Everyone in the town respected him. Hyun immediately realized that he himself had been a nuisance since he was young, but he realized that even if he did nothing, being the patriarch's son would still provide food and a beautiful life ahead. He laughed loudly at this, leaving people perplexed. The next day, the pool was ready. Hyun jumped into the water, causing gigantic waves that spread throughout the world. He also asked his guard to prepare a large stone ball to tie to his leg and start practicing. The man did as he asked, so after tying it to Hyun's leg, he threw the stone ball with all his strength, causing Hyun to be thrown into the air. Wasn't this pool supposed to be as shallow as a child's pool? Hyun looked like the Titanic sinking to the bottom of the lake. He wanted to practice internal energy, which would be more convenient for the water masters. To guard against this, his masters developed a method of internal energy training called the spiritual energy heart cultivation technique. Instead of channeling energy into the core, it would focus on the heart, not using energy veins, but blood vessels to transport energy according to practice. He finally succeeded in replacing internal energy. Internal energy training began to flow through the lake. He could feel the flow of water and control it to his advantage. Then he used the most powerful move of the Shaolin's strongest fist technique, the mystical fist of the 100 feet, which hit the water's surface, causing a terrible disturbance. After that, he continued frenetically underwater training with his previous knowledge, advancing rapidly. He could already master the technique in just 1 month. It was time to return. The first thing to do was to check how much weight he had lost, and he asked his vassal to prepare the scale. If even weight loss didn't work, how would he face his master this time? After much suspense, Hyun's gigantic weight had decreased a bit. This time the rope didn't even break like last time. He laughed wildly and with great happiness. His vassal admitted that he had doubted him a little at first. Now Hyun needed to get stronger quickly to be able to stop the chaos servant, so he ate everything in sight, then cultivated before the food was completely digested. He repeated this several times. Then 2 months passed. He was now at the bottom of the pool. Then he used the palm technique, causing the water on the surface to completely churn. The vassal couldn't believe what he saw, so he said, "How was that arrogant pig able to do that?" At this moment someone came up behind him asking who he was calling a pig. This was the patriarch, completely furious. He wanted to kill Hyun's vassal right then and there, but the patriarch's personal bodyguard ordered the soldiers to take Hyun's vassal away immediately. He didn't do this to arrest him. He wanted him to rest after all the effort he had made for the young master. The man cried with happiness. His father was very happy that his son had just sent water flying through the air using a palm martial art. His son had the supreme power of martial technique. Although he wanted Hyun to follow the academic path, he would still support him in his martial practice. Then his face became serious again. He ordered paper and ink to send a message to the palace.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on upcoming videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed it and share with your friends. See you in the next video. Bye for now.